Hey, welcome everyone to another privacy tech focused video. In this video, I'm talking about how I transitioned from big corporate tech emails, so Gmail from Google and Live, which is part of Outlook, which is part of Microsoft, and transitioned over to Proton Mail. Now, if you want to see the written version of this video, you can find a link to my website in the video description. So this video is divided up into chapters. If you want to skip the introduction, by all means, go ahead, whatever. Why did I transition from using Gmail to Proton, as well as abandoning my Live account? Live is part of Microsoft services. The irony is that Microsoft introduced Copilot scanning your emails to make it more convenient and all other garbage stuff. And of course, Google followed up not too long after saying, hey, we're going to have Gemini scan all your emails. So these big corporate tech companies are introducing AI scanning my emails, which I don't want, okay? But they've always been known to harvest and sell your data from your emails anyway, but AI just does it even better. I was like, I'm going to now abandon their email services, ironically, because they said, hey, this is going to make email better. Proton does not use AI in their email services, so that was a big thing for me. Now, I do actually have the entire full suite of Proton. I'm actually a paid customer, but now what I'm talking about is just email in this service, but I want to mention very quickly that I'm making probably a follow-up video to this, how I turned off my subscription for 1Password, Microsoft 365, like the Office suite, but I used to use their OneDrive for cloud storage as well, and a whole bunch of other services. I got rid of all those subscription services and switched over to Proton, the full suite. In fact, I have Proton Duo, which is paying for me and my wife. It is cheaper for us to do that and more privacy focused than it was to use all those piecemeal services. For now, we're just focusing on email services from Proton. We're talking about the good and bad because I'm going to be using their own website, which has literally a comparison of Proton Mail to Gmail. And we're going to examine what is true, what is good, and what are some kind of gotchas and caveats that are not that accurate, because I don't believe it's perfect, okay? Even though I have switched to Proton Mail, I do have some criticism and feedback for them. And then I'll conclude this video with one thing that's really weird to me, is when I told people I'm switching from Gmail to Proton Mail, and I'm also loading Graphene OS, which is a privacy-based operating system for your phone, which is almost, well, probably the only one of its kind. I made an entire video, I'll put a link to it in the video description, explaining the good and bad of Graphene OS as well, because I'm very neutral on my videos. And the main profile, because you have different profiles here, the main profile has no Google services. It doesn't have Gmail, nothing. And people kind of freak out thinking, how can you do that if you're an Android user? Doesn't that mean the phone is useless? That's not true. And you don't need Gmail. So I'll explain that part at the end of the video because it's not applicable to iPhone users. And I feel bad if you're using iPhone because you're using iPhone. Anyway, moving along. So we're going to the website, Proton Mail versus Gmail. So let's see what's true, what's not, potentially, and kind of go from there. So Proton Mail is the world's most popular encrypted email service. That's true, and it's based in Switzerland. Switzerland has some of the world's most strongest privacy laws. Okay, so far that's true as well. Gmail is an email service created by Google, yep, based in Mountain View, United States, yep. The United States does not have robust privacy laws and is a member of the Intelligence Sharing Alliances. This is actually very true. In fact, I made a video just recently explaining how in the United States, they're trying to pass a law at the federal level. So some states have it already, like California, but at the federal level, they're trying to pass a law where to use your operating system, which could be your phone or computer, you have to enter your age. It is a privacy nightmare. It's a slippery slope because eventually they're going to start making you scan your driver's license to use your computer. And to summarize the statement, basically both of them have mobile apps and they do have websites you can visit on your desktop. But it says here with Gmail, you pay with your privacy, which is true. That's why Gmail is free. If you ever wonder why it's not a cost, it's because they're scanning and selling your data. Now they do have different plans, and of course they do have Proton Mail for free. I use the Proton Mail, Proton VPN, and cloud storage, whatever, for free. You know, there's no trial. I just used it for free for about a month and a half, 2 months before I signed up for their family plan, which was the Duo, okay? And if you look at their free plan, you only get 1 gig of storage, which is pretty good, but, you know, depending on how many emails you receive, how many attachments, that 1 gig could disappear within a year or two. You kind of get the idea. Okay, so continue on. So this is the meat and potatoes of this video. Okay, Proton Mail price is free, okay? But to pay more storage and products, it starts at this much. Okay, so that's true. Gmail is completely free, but you pay with your privacy. Again, that's correct. There is a storage cap limitation with Gmail, but it's much higher. I believe it's like 15 gigs. I don't know because I don't really use it that much, but it's somewhere like that, whereas Proton is 1 gig. Your favorite Gmail features. I have no idea what that means. This is nonsensical. Advertisement right here from Proton. It's my first critique and feedback. Works on all your devices. Okay, that's true. Free calendar and drive included. Sure, okay, that's true. 0 ads. This is a lie. Okay, this is completely false. Basically, when you log into Proton Mail, I'm a paid customer. There's like this tiny little button at the top that says refer a friend. It's really small. I don't mind that because what they do is they're saying like if you refer a friend, you get a discount on your next renewal or something. Okay, it's harmless, it's a tiny button. What I don't like, and I wish I took a screenshot, I kind of hate myself for not doing it, is there was this big banner, I think it was like in March or April, saying spring sale, like 20% off. I'm already a paying customer in a subscription for 2 years. That doesn't renew until 2027 of June. Why is there an ad on the top? So this fact that they're saying there are 0 ads is 100% a lie. Okay, so end-to-end encryption and zero access encryption. So let's look at end-to-end encryption. This is not false, but it's a little misleading because what happens is if you're emailing from one Proton account to another, it is 100% end-to-end encrypted. Where this is not fully telling the truth here is, let's say for example, I were to email from Proton to Gmail. It's TLS encrypted while it's in transit, okay? In transit basically means it while it's going over the internet. But what happens is that when it reaches Gmail or like Microsoft email services, for example, if it's not encrypted there, then it's not actually end-to-end encrypted. Okay, so this statement should be revised to say end-to-end encrypted Proton to Proton emails only, or unless you're using some sort of other email service that is 100% end-to-end encrypted. The reason I say that is because emails in Gmail are not encrypted. Yes, the server and whatever cloud storage you're sitting on are encrypted, but first and foremost, Gemini can scan the emails. That in itself is a privacy nightmare. Secondly, it is not actually locked down. If a Google or Gmail employee, whatever you want to call them, really want to access your email and read it, they can. That's why journalists don't use services like Gmail, because it's a privacy nightmare and it can compromise their safety. So this is a little bit, you have to read between the lines on this one. Zero access encryption basically means it's a very similar concept to zero knowledge. What this basically means is that because your mail sitting in Proton is encrypted, so let's say it's reverse. Someone from Google emails you using their Gmail account to your Proton. It's encrypted in transit, and when it arrives, it's like, I don't know how the timing of it, but it'll quickly encrypt that email. Because it's not encrypted in Gmail, it's gonna come unencrypted, okay, in plain text. But when it arrives to Proton, it quickly wraps a encryption layer on your email that's coming from Google. And then, of course, Proton employees cannot see it. They cannot read it. And authorities come up to them. Technically, based on this statement, they can't see anything. They can't access your email. There's nothing they can do. Blocks third-party trackers is 100% correct. I've received many advertisement. They block a lot of the tracking services because a lot of these services, what they do is they embed links into pictures and in the email body itself, and they can actually be used to track, are you hovering on them? Are you clicking with the image? Are you interacting with them? In Google, they allow a lot of that to go through, which is true. In Proton, a lot of it is blocked. The images are broken and this and that, and that's done intentionally. You can unblock them. If you want to see the full email, you can do that. It's just a simple click, but by default, it blocks it, and that's a great feature. Encrypted contacts, this one is a bit over the top, but it's true. Basically, you can sync your contacts to your Proton mail, and then from there, the list of contacts are encrypted, where even the Proton employees cannot see your list of encrypted. Protected by strong Swiss privacy laws. Okay, that's true. There's not much to go on there. Free VPN included. This is a bit nonsensical because we're comparing email to email services. Proton Mail to Gmail. We're not talking about VPN. You can sign up for their VPN without using their email service. So this is a bit nonsensical. It's not false. It's just an unnecessary selling point they're using to kind of knock and put another X on Gmail. Open source and independently audited. This is true. And what this basically means is that the applications you use for your computer or cell phone's a great example. They are open source. You can even find them on GitHub. Even some of the applications from Proton, like Proton VPN, I believe, is on F-Droid. So that's one thing. Gmail stuff is closed source. You can't see the source code, and it's proprietary information. And not subject to US surveillance. This is 100% correct. This one's really cool. However, Gmail does not offer the ability to generate dynamically hide my email alias so you can organize your inbox. So for example, with Amazon, I had to sign up with my Gmail account back when I was doing that. With paid Proton, this is a paid feature, I believe. What you can do is when you go to Amazon.com and you don't want to use your real email anymore, okay, you want to hide it because they sell that email address and they say, hey, Sook Rise email address is blah, blah, blah. Well, that's how a lot of spam emails start getting into your account. When I go to Amazon, it'll create a random alias. It'll create something like johndoe.something12345@passmail.net. That's a mouthful. But that email alias will route to my personal email. Amazon doesn't see my personal email. They're seeing that passmail.com address, and when they email it there, on my order statuses and whatnot, it'll then route to my personal email. But they never actually see my personal email is. They don't see the final destination, which is pretty cool. You don't need a Google account to use Android. Graphene OS is based on Android. It's kind of like how you have different versions of Linux distributions. You can use other services. I use Aurora Store. Aurora Store is basically a copy of Google Play Store, but you don't have to log in with your Google account. You can still download apps from the Google Play Store, so you know the apps are safe and whatnot. How do you get Aurora Store? It's an open source app you can get from something called F-Droid. F-Droid is yet another app store, which they only support open source applications, including like Proton VPN, for example. So you don't actually need a Google account to use an Android device. I'm more than 99.999% on Proton. My Outlook account, like on 365 Microsoft services, is done. I don't use it anymore. Gmail, the only thing left is school emails because they use Google Classroom at school. I don't know if they have to send emails to Gmail accounts of parents. Maybe someone can leave a comment if they know better than me about that. But that is the only reason I have Gmail left. It's sad because Google Classroom is spyware, but it's mandated by the local board of education here from our children. I've been using Gmail for almost 15 years, no, more than that, almost 20 years. I want to make this very clear. It was not easy to transition. It took time. It took months because every so often I find a service that I use and I'm like, oh man, it's still tied to my Gmail. So it takes time. You have to be patient. It's a slow transition. I would recommend that you use the free version first and test if you like it. One big gripe that I have personally, it's not mentioned anywhere here, is that you can't have multiple accounts loaded on the application. So if I were to create another account for my YouTube channel, Babbling Bullion, well, I can't do that. I have to create like an alias and then tie it to my personal account. I don't know if that's done intentionally, because if you think about it, no one would buy their paid plan then, right? If you could load multiple accounts in one app of Proton Mail, why am I going to pay for their alias services and this and that? I'll just keep stacking email accounts. So with Gmail, that's not a problem. You just open the Gmail app, you can switch profiles with a couple of taps. So that is one other personal caveat that I have. And that's pretty much a wrap. So I hope you found this video useful. If you did, be sure to check out my website, link in the video description. Hit the like button, it does help. Subscribe, it literally helps my channel grow, as well as maybe considering hitting the super thanks button, which is a little heart icon at the bottom of this video. It helps me out because I have to make these videos after hours when I'm not working. And that's pretty much a wrap.